start off tonight's show with Ray Epps because Ray Epps has finally been charged with a crime, although it's debated whether or not it's a misdemeanor or a felony. Seems to be a little bit unclear. Now, Ray Epps is the guy that at January 6th, he was the person who was really on the bullhorn telling everybody, go to the Capitol, go to the Capitol. In fact, I believe we have clips of that. Let's go ahead and first of all, let's actually look at this NBC News article just real quick so that you could see this, because I just thought this was Ray Epps, subject of Tucker Carlson's January 6th conspiracy theories, charged by DOJ. So the reason why he's considered the subject of conspiracy theories is because people think that Ray Epps was maybe some sort of a federal agent or somebody who was there kind of planted in order to get people riled up, because here's somebody who clearly said to people, we're going to the Capitol, which we're going to play the clips for you. People in the crowd became very suspicious of Ray Epps, even started chanting Fed, 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 because he was trying to rile people up, and people were suspicious of that. And then it's been a couple of years, and Ray Epps has not been charged with a crime. About 1,000 other people have been charged in regards to January 6th. People who were not even there were charged with conspiracy or somehow insurrection. We're seeing all these various people being charged, and some of them who were never even there. I mean, in what's his name, the Proud Boy, Enrique. I'm not sure exactly. I don't, Tario. Sorry. I've got too many names in my brain. But he ended up getting how many years? Like a couple decades in jail, and he wasn't even in Washington, D.C. And yet Ray Epps was riling up the crowd, and he wasn't getting anything. So let's go ahead and play the first clip. This is just him telling everybody to head to the Capitol, head to the Capitol.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
Speaking, we are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
Wow, it's full all the way to the Washington Monument Hill.
Speaking, we are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
Okay, so there's Ray Epps telling everyone, go to the Capitol, spread the word. That's where our real problems are. And yet, no charges against this guy. They've been going after people who just walked into the building and they were looking around in awe. They were going after people who, like I said, were not even in D.C. And yet this guy, they hadn't even charged until today. Here is the clip of people chanting at him that he's a Fed. People becoming really suspicious because he's saying a lot of things that no one else is really saying, and it's making the crowd suspicious. Here it is.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed.
Yeah. So he's caught. So people definitely thought he was a Fed. He's definitely telling people we're going into the Capitol. We need to go into the Capitol. We need to go in. So that is all very suspicious. You don't have anybody else talking about that. These are protesters. They're thinking they're just going to have their voices heard sitting on the lawn. And then you've got guys like Ray Epps who are suspiciously riling up the crowd, telling them, go to the Capitol. That's where our real problems are. We need to go to the Capitol. We need to go into the Capitol. And even the people around him are saying this guy is a Fed. So when NBC News and all the mainstream media sits there and says that Ray Epps is the subject of conspiracy theories, you see why? Because this is all very suspect. So why wouldn't people start to wonder, who is this Ray Epps, especially since they just refused to charge the guy? A guy saying go into the Capitol. They got people for less than what they're getting Ray Epps. They weren't even charging Ray Epps, and yet this guy has numerous clips of him saying this. So it's all very, very suspicious. I want to show you the actual charge. So this is, it's a little unclear if this is a misdemeanor or a felony. I'm getting mixed reports on this. The court listener is listing it as a felony. A lot of people are saying that it is a misdemeanor. It really is. It seems to be sort of up to the district attorney whether or not they want to make this a misdemeanor or they want to make this a felony. But he is being charged with one count and one count only One charge saying on or about January 6, 2001, within the District of Columbia, James Ray Epps Sr. did knowingly and with intent to impede and disrupt the orderly conduct of government business and official functions, engage in disorderly and disruptive conduct in and within such proximity to a restricted building and grounds, that is, any posted, cordoned off, and otherwise restricted area within the United States Capitol and its grounds, where the vice president was and would be temporarily visiting, when and so that such conduct did, in fact, impede and disrupt the orderly conduct of government business and official functions and attempted to and conspired to do so. So they're saying he just was disorderly and disruptive around a government proceeding on government grounds, on restricted grounds. So he is being charged with one count of disorderly or disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1752A2. One count and one count only. This, again, it depends on if it's a felony or a misdemeanor. He could get, I believe, up to 10 years in jail is what this could carry, depending on the circumstances. But it also could just be as low as no jail time and just a $500 fine. So it's quite a range of what he can and cannot get with this one particular charge. But again, a couple of years later, and they're just now finally charging him with something, and it's not like they needed to do a very deep investigation. We've had these video clips of Ray Epps for a very long time. I want to go through some of the other people who've been charged with this exact same crime from January 6th, and they were only charged with this exact same one count, so one count of this Title 18 U.S. Code 1752A2. We could find 6 different people who were just charged with this one thing. And I want to go over what the government recommended and the sentences that were imposed so that we can kind of get an idea of what Ray Epps should get potentially. And then later, when we see what he ends up getting, we can then come back and compare it, because I think a lot of people are going to be suspicious about what Ray Epps ends up getting. And if he gets off light and easy, then I think that's going to continue to feed the conspiracy theories that Ray Epps is somehow connected to the government, some sort of, maybe an informant or an actual asset of some kind. That's what people are suspicious about because of the suspicious circumstances around Ray Epps. So here's some of the people, and we ordered them in from the lightest sentence to the harshest sentence for this exact same one crime. Now, remember, each person, there's going to be some circumstances that maybe gave them lighter sentences or harsher sentences. And that could be if they had any priors, where exactly were they at the Capitol? What exactly did they say? So there's going to be some mitigating circumstances or circumstances that make it worse, right? So the first person, Stephen Ayres, he got 24 months probation, 100 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. So he didn't have to go to jail at all. He just got 24 months probation and basically had to pay a $500 fine. Plus he had to do 100 hours of community service. The government wanted 60 days incarceration. So 60 days in jail, 12 months supervised release, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. But he didn't have to do any jail. He instead got that 24 months probation and a little bit more community service. Felipe Marquez, the government wanted 4 months of jail time plus 12 months of supervised release and $500 restitution. He ended up getting 3 months home detention. So no incarceration, but he had to sit at home, locked down at home. 18 months probation and $500 restitution. So that person got house arrest. Then you've got Benjamin LaRocca. He ended up getting 60 days incarceration in jail. So he got actual jail time for this, 12 months of supervised release, a $5,000 fine, 60 hours of community service, and an additional $500 in restitution. And the government was seeking 3 months incarceration, but they got 2 months of incarceration for Benjamin LaRocca. Matthew Baggett, they wanted middle of sentencing guidelines range, whatever that might be. And the government was seeking 12 months of supervised release, 60 hours community service, and $500 of restitution. Middle of the range, maybe that would have been a couple of years. I mean, I think it really kind of depends on whether or not he had a weapon or things like that. So he ended up getting 3 months incarceration, 3 months of jail time, 12 months of supervised release, 60 hours of community service, and $500 restitution. Philip Bromley, they wanted a year of incarceration. He got 90 days, and so he got 3 months, not a year. He has to pay a $4,000 fine and $2,000 restitution. And the person who got the harshest so far was Glenn Mitchell Simon, who was given 8 months of jail time, 12 months of supervised release, a $1,000 fine, and $500 in restitution. So the punishments, the sentences imposed have ranged for this exact one crime. These are people that were just given this one charge. There were other people charged with this same crime, but they were charged with a bunch of other things as well. And so it's not an apples to apples comparison. So we didn't compare Ray Epps, what Ray Epps should maybe get or will maybe get to them. So these are the 6 that we could find. So it ranges from 24 months of just probation all the way to 8 months of jail time. And again, there's circumstances that surround that. So we'll see what Ray Epps ends up getting. So if it ends up being a really light sentence, I mean, most of them got incarceration. So everybody here, except for 2 of them, I mean, but one of them got house arrest. But it goes with jail time. So we'll see what Ray Epps gets. And then that'll help feed, whether or not this is a conspiracy theory or conspiracy reality, right? That's what we'll find out. Just wanted to also go over, there's this is an article that was actually put out by The Hill a while ago talking about the number of people, this was just last month, the number of people in total who've been charged with January 6th, and the number hit 1,106 last month. So over 1,000 people have been charged in connection with January 6th. We've seen some really harsh sentences up to 30 years, I believe, in jail is what I think the Oath Keepers guy got. And then we do have Enrique Tarrio, who ended up getting, what did he get, like 20 years or 25 years? 22 years. He got 22 years imprisonment. But here are some of the people who've been charged. It says that the number of people have been charged. Now, a lot of people were arrested. There were more people arrested, but they didn't get ultimately charged. So this is 1,100 people have been charged. The DOJ announced as of August 6th that more than 1,106 defendants were charged in nearly all 50 states and Washington, D.C. for the actions they took during the insurrection, this article says. I don't consider it an insurrection. That's not how I would categorize January 6th, but some of them are. The announcement noted that 372 people were charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers and employees, including 112 people who were charged with using a dangerous or deadly weapon or causing serious injury to an officer. Around 140 officers were assaulted, they say. In addition, about 967 individuals, so this is almost everybody, were charged with entering or remaining in a restricted area on federal property, including 104 who entered with a dangerous weapon. So a lot of people were just charged with trespassing, and the majority were just charged with trespassing. And some of them, of that group, 104 of them, were charged with trespassing with a dangerous weapon. But you might have just had a weapon on you. I mean, it's not that they were going in there with a dangerous weapon with the intent to use that dangerous weapon. Maybe they had, pepper spray or a pocket knife I don't know what they're considering a dangerous weapon, but there's a variety of things that they could maybe consider that. And a lot of people maybe use those for their own self-protection. But because they trespassed with that object on them, they're charged with entering with a dangerous weapon that carries a lot harsher sentences. 64 people were charged with destruction of government property, 51 with stealing it. 310 individuals were also charged with corruptly obstructing, influencing, or impeding an official proceeding. So that is what Ray Epps is being charged with. So he was charged with that along with 310 other individuals. But most of those other individuals were also charged with trespassing or a combination of other crimes. And about 632 individuals have pled guilty in connection with their actions, while 110 have been found guilty at contested trials. So it's still going on. You know, the January 6th stuff is still happening. I would think, though, that the majority of people who are going to be charged have been charged at this point. And again, you know, the fact that they took forever to charge Ray Epps when they were getting people that they caught on camera, they were looking for people. I mean, remember, they were using facial recognition software and putting faces out there. Who do you know this person? And people were ratting out their neighbors. They would see them on the footage and say, oh, that was my neighbor. And they're calling the FBI. And these people are being charged. And yet we've had a couple of years now of Ray Epps, of the videos of Ray Epps, of him saying, go inside, telling people, go inside. And yet they did absolutely nothing about it until today. And what he gets today is maybe something that will amount to just a couple of months probation and a $500 fine. So we're going to see what ends up happening to Ray Epps, if he gets off easier or harsher than that. And we will keep you updated on that story. I think it's an important one to follow and one of definite interest. I know I'm very interested in it. So we are going to keep you updated on that story. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Brickhouse Nutrition's latest product. It's called Lean. I've talked about this in the past. It's made by the same company that does Field of Greens. So you've heard of me talk about Field of Greens, which is a really great product that I absolutely love. But Brickhouse is this really awesome company making really high quality products. And I want to tell you about their latest product called Lean. It's a pills you take once a day. You take these 3 pills once a day. I've been taking them. I just started taking them. What's great about them is that they do the trifecta of what you need for weight loss. And I know many of us struggle with shedding those extra pounds. And what Lean does is the 3 big things that you really need. 1, curb cravings. So you want to curb hunger, you want to curb cravings so that you eat less and you're not thinking about food all the time. The worst part about dieting, right, is like, thinking about food all the time. Food, when can I get some more food? Oh, I can only eat this little tiny little thing. Oh, I'm just wanting more food. It also helps lower blood sugar, which is also a big problem for many people on weight gain, is that we're gaining weight because the blood sugar's too high. And then on top of it, we're craving sugar because our blood sugar's high. So Lean really helps us lower the blood sugar, curb the cravings. And it also helps burn fat. So it actually takes the fat and metabolizes that and uses it for energy so that you start actually leaning down. Now, they told me it takes about 3 weeks for this to kick in. So you've got to take it for 3 weeks consistently, and then you're going to start seeing those results. So don't expect like you take the pills and the next day you start losing weight. It doesn't really work like that, but it does work. This is very science-based. They've got a lot of scientists working on this. They're very smart people, and they make very high-quality products. And one thing I love about Lean is that it doesn't give me the jitters. I really worry about that when I'm taking any sort of weight loss, anything to get in shape. It's like, oh, but I don't want the jitters. And I don't get that at all with Lean. So try this out with me. I just started taking it again. So I'm like 1 week or maybe half a weekend. So I will keep you posted on how well this is working for me, because I'm going to do the 3 weeks. They told me, it takes 3 weeks. Because I kind of was taking it a little bit here and there, and I just wasn't consistent. So I'm going to try it now. I'm committing to it for 3 weeks, and then I'm going to see if that extra weight I gained during the pandemic that I'm still trying to get rid of, I'm going to see if that comes off. So join me in doing this. You could do it along with me, or you could just wait and see how I do in the next few weeks, and then I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. But you can get 15% off your order when you visit fieldofgreens.com, and you use that promo code Kim. And you can use that for the Field of Greens product with Brickhouse, or you can put Lean in your cart and you can get that 15% off of Lean, but you're going to get 15% off your order by going to fieldofgreens.com and using promo code Kim at checkout. Try it out with me. Let me know how it works for you. But so far, so good for me. So we'll keep at it, and I will keep you posted.